Hi, I'm Ian McKinlay and welcome to Red and Blacks. The main purpose for this website is education, probably number one, so you can help your horse, and number two, so you have the availability to get the same products we use. If it looks like it's going to be a natural fit for your horse, by all means contact us. We can pad any kind of shoe, steel or aluminum, and lots of success, and we'll have all kinds of videos for you to browse through for your specific problem. I started back in 1977. Before that, I spent probably 10 years with my dad as an apprentice. He was the one who pioneered the whole lacing technique that started with the standardbreds back in the mid-60s. From then, I started with the standardbreds, Detroit, Windsor, ended up down the New York area. Over the years, I've been absolutely blessed with the amount of knowledge I've gained from different Hall of Famers I've worked with and numerous blacksmiths that just shared their knowledge, and I'll forever be grateful. One of the things, what I do, I really don't shoe horses, I just work on horses with different hoof ailments. Quarter cracks being number one. Right behind that would be wall separations. And a lot of people don't realize wall separations come from, it starts out as an abscess in the sole, which is caused by concussion, and it'll migrate up the wall, end up blowing out that whole quarter, and you'll see them resected and put back together. Anyway, I have done literally tens of thousands of these things. I've been at it 45 years, so. And you'll see it in a lot of the videos. The more videos you'll watch, you'll just see it over and over and over. It's going to come back to sole pressure. The reason we had to make Red and Blacks, there's nothing on the market that would do what we wanted. We found out early that when you glue on shoes, direct glue, which is just straight steel to the hoof capsule, you're locking the bottom part of the hoof in. The foot is very dynamic, wants to expand. So that was one of the big problems. They would pop quarter cracks, they'd do all kinds of stuff. And one of the big problems, they'd get an abscess in the sole because there's nothing to cushion that concussion. And this is what leads into the Red and Blacks. The Red and Blacks, there were no pads that absorbed that kind of concussion that I knew of that you could glue on, so it had to be created. And over years of trial and error, we're finally at the point where we want to be. And as you look at the shoe, the two different colors, the red is firm, so if you nail these shoes on, you won't lose your nails. It keeps them nice and secure. But the black is what is soft, absorbs concussion, allows the feet to move sideways. So very simple concept. The other thing is the black butyl tape that goes on the inner rim. You just kind of push that up, so when you push the shoe down onto the sole, any glue that's under that will squeeze out sideways, and you just clean that away, so you actually end up with zero sole pressure. And the beauty of those adhesives, they set up in 3 to 5 minutes, so you can build wall that horse doesn't have. There are a lot of reasons why the Red and Blacks came to be. First thing is shoe placement. The main thing we wanted to accomplish was to build hoof wall back in the back third of the foot. That way you could set the shoe back and out and get that shoe off the sole. It's the only way you can really accomplish it. Traditional shoeing, you can't hang a shoe out that far because they'll tear them off, and then you'll end up destroying the wall. So the blacksmiths faced quite a dilemma, and the new adhesives were extraordinary for helping us out in that area. Any advice you get on this website, look, these are just my opinions. Consult with your veterinarian. This is certainly not medical advice or to be taken as that. I've tried lots of this stuff, it's worked, but make sure you run it past your vet. We're not getting into live tissue, we're not doing anything like that, but still, I just want you to make sure you talk to your vet and get the okay. Just want to thank you for coming to our site. We are honored for you to even consider us. If you think our products would be a good fit for you, we'll be more than happy to fulfill your needs. Thank you again. one of the main reasons I love helping horses. Actually, the bigger the project, the more I like it. It's just a challenge. And that's the purpose of this website, really. Even Red and Black. So Red and Black, it's just a product we provide because we know it works and it's going to help horses. And in the bottom, and at the end, the bottom line is helping your horse. And you'll see it. You see it all over the internet. Horses that have used these, and just thankful that they exist. Now, when you look at the shoe, you see two different colors. The red is much firmer. When you talk about hardness, you're talking durometer. A bowling ball would be 100%. The red pad is 80. Natural rubber would be probably around 45%, and this black rubber is actually at 50. And it also has a protective coating on it, so if you nail them on, you'll look at most pads. Look, most pads are extremely hard, and all they've done is elevated the frog off the ground. It really hasn't dampened the concussion at all. And you'll see the softer pads, the hoof wall will cut through them. And obviously a big problem, you're back to sole pressure. Once the outside is worn down, you've elevated the inside, which is sitting right on their sole. And you see shoes I have here, that's the main problem. When you see this, you know you're going to do extremely well with them. But anyway, those shoes are designed to either be nailed or glued. You are building a new hoof capsule when you're gluing. You cannot compare it to nailing. If you've got a nice footed horse, those pads absorb a ton of concussion, and you're getting into secondary lameness. Almost all equine professionals will agree the vast majority of secondary lameness stems from them front feet. If they're sore, they will start altering the way they go, and in the end, they'll start using their whole hind end to get up underneath themselves to get the weight off the front end. And you've covered that horse from beginning to end with lameness, and if you don't address those feet, it's going to be a vicious circle. People ask me, how do I know if red and blacks are a good fit? Red and blacks are specifically made to absorb concussion. And where we run into our biggest problems are feet that are rolled over onto the sole. The thoroughbred world is absolutely littered with them. And actually, I see them everywhere anymore, but a lot of it comes to our hoof care. We keep their feet too soft. But that issue to the side, if you look at it's all shoe placement. If your shoe is set in short and tight, and that wall is rolled over onto the sole, then all that pressure when that horse lands on his heels is going to be transferred right to the sole.
Well, why do I need red and blacks if it's just shoe placement?
Well, then the question is, I'm getting a question, why red and blacks then? It isn't just red and blacks. The biggest thing that's going to help you is building a new hoof capsule, making that hoof so you can set the shoe out and back. If you try that with a regular unpadded shoe, you've got about 5 days, and then you'll most likely be pulling them off because there's just nothing to absorb concussion. One thing about removing sole pressure, I will glue horses that walk up sore and walk off sound, and most trainers pick up on it immediately, and they're kind of questioning because they don't if you don't really know the dynamics of it, you wonder what the heck happened here. Why is this horse? And it happens over and over. Many times, especially in the thoroughbred world, the riders the next day will say, wow, this horse, he's just reaching out so much farther. Now you're talking heel concussion, sole pressure. And a lot of horses will go short and stabby. If you have a horse who's stumbling, I can about guarantee that he's got sole pressure in the heel. He doesn't want to land on his heel. Be very similar to you having a pebble in the heel of your shoe. You'd walk on the balls of your feet, and that's exactly what they do. They'll walk as far forward as they can. They'll push it so far they actually stumble. And as soon as you glue them, it goes right away. Within 2 days, they move like a dream. You cannot compare it to traditional horseshoeing because they don't have the foot to work with that we create. So it's solved a lot of issues. If you're looking to find out any more on any of these issues, just browse through the website. There'll probably be a video on it, or send questions, because there'll be footage somewhere. We've seen about everything that comes down the road. Another question. Are red and blacks going to fix my horse's feet? The answer is no. If you can find somebody who shows me how they can rebuild walls that are rolled in and under, I've seen it all. They put on spider plates, they have 3D pads, I've seen every pad and every shoe that's come down the road. I've seen mushroom shoes. Mushroom shoes were the greatest things that ever happened for about 3 weeks. And then there's too much pressure on the frog, and they'd end up blowing the frog. This is standardbred world, so it's just, I come out of the standardbred world where concussion is everything, and it is brutal on some tracks. Some tracks take great care of their tracks and try and put a cushion on them. But now we have stone dust everywhere. All our thoroughbred tracks have a stone dust base. So when those tracks get worn out, then the horse will actually go through the surface all the way to the bottom and hit, especially in the wintertime, because they can't put water on. So it's very loose and almost fluffy, and they'll go right through it to the bottom. And when it's wet, like heavy rain, they definitely go to the bottom. You can hear them hit the bottom. But anyway, and just so now this comes to the brilliance of trainers. You know, if you see a bad track, back off. Figure out another way to keep this horse somewhat fit, to hit your race you're going. So everything's judgment calls in the horse world. And you're just trying to keep your feet comfortable and avoid all the secondary lameness that comes with sore feet.
Will my horse have to wear these shoes long term to
Yeah.
last?
Yeah, okay, now here's the next question is how long do they have to wear them?
Yeah.
The amount of time your horse will wear it depends what he's doing for a living. I mean, I'd be quite truthful, if I trained horses, and I did have a standardbred license way back in my teens. Interesting. And it's funny because I ended up at Windsor Raceway. I had 2 horses, 2 homebreds of my dad's, and there was nobody that fixed quarter cracks down there, really. And I was so swamped with all the quarter cracks between Detroit and Windsor, I had a hard time taking care of the 2 horses. But if I had a bunch of horses, like I say, you can nail these on. Look, this is a vast field, feet. Jim Bays said it best. I asked Jim Bays, I said, what do you think the main cause of hoof lameness is? And he says, you know, we train those babies barefoot for a long time. And the day we put shoes on, which are necessary because of wear, the day we put shoes on, these little issues start popping up. And I think he's spot on, because you're right back into the standardbred world. They'll pull the shoes completely to race these trotting horses barefoot, and pacers. And what you're getting is perfect frog pressure, and you don't have a shoe laying on their sole. And they go well, but they can't take it very long because the tracks are so abrasive. Stone dust is brutal. Aluminum shoe's only going to last, at 3 weeks, it's got a lot of wear. So a foot obviously will never hold up to that.
I pretty much want you to somehow say, like, you feel that.